This week, Texas and Florida became the latest states to advance new voting restrictions. This morning, protesters rallied outside the Texas State House in Austin. The State House passed a different version of the Senate bill in the wee hours yesterday. It includes a ban on unsolicited applications to vote by mail. It does not have some of the more controversial provisions like new rules on early voting or a ban on drive-through voting. Lawmakers will figure out the bill in the coming days behind closed doors. Texas Governor Greg Abbott has already signaled that he intends to sign the new restrictions. That is what Florida's governor, Ron DeSantis, did on Thursday. He held a signing ceremony in my hometown of West Palm Beach. The governor said it was a measure to increase transparency, but he blocked local reporters from covering it in person. They had to watch it like everyone else on Fox and Friends.
Right now, I have what we think is the strongest election integrity measures in the country. I'm actually going to sign it right here. It's going to take effect. So, there you go. Bill is signed.
Now, he did not actually sign it right there. A spokesperson for the governor said that he didn't sign the actual bill live on television. That happened later, so the Fox News appearance was ceremonial. Joining us now is Florida Congressman Charlie Crist. He is a Democrat, but he had been Florida's Attorney General and its governor as a Republican. He is currently running as a Democrat to unseat Ron DeSantis next year. Congressman Crist, good evening. Welcome.
Good evening, Joshua. Great to be with you, my fellow Floridian.
Yeah, and it's weird as a Floridian who covered you as governor to be calling you Congressman Crist instead of Governor Crist. I'm sure you'd like to be called governor again soon, but we'll get to that in just 1 second. Can you give me your take on this voting bill? Because I don't get it. You know Florida politics as well as I do, if not better. Florida is a very strong Republican political state, not solidly, but Republicans do very well in Florida. So I don't understand tactically why you would even need a law to change the voting rules for any logical reason, especially if you are a Republican governor. Like, what sense does this make to you?
None. I couldn't agree with you more, Joshua. It really doesn't make any sense whatsoever. They do have the House of Representatives in Tallahassee, the state Senate, and obviously the governor's mansion at present. But, you know, you have to look at what they're maybe concerned about. Maybe they're concerned that this is going to be a closer election in 2022 because Trump will not be on the ballot as he was last time. That's a factor. And what they're doing with this new bill is not dissimilar to what has happened in Georgia, and it looks like just happened in Texas. They're making it harder to vote. They're suppressing the vote. And one of the most egregious parts of it, from my perspective, is making it harder to use mail-in ballots. Mail-in ballots are extremely popular among seniors in Florida. And if you antagonize seniors in Florida, your prospects for re-election are not going to be that good. My 88-year-old father, my 86-year-old mother love to do mail-in ballots. A lot of seniors, as I said, do. They're making it more difficult to get the mail-in ballot in the Sunshine State.
Right.
That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I really don't know what they're doing. I don't know why they're doing it except to suppress the vote. They're also taking away being able to have drop boxes, primarily in minority parts of the state. That's relatively clear that that's trying to suppress the Democratic vote.
You were campaigning in Miami, I believe it is, earlier today. Democrats have not done particularly well in statewide politics in Florida in the last few years. We haven't had a Democratic governor since the late Lawton Chiles was governor, before Jeb Bush, before you, before Rick Scott and Ron DeSantis. What makes you think that now you can beat Ron DeSantis as a Democrat? I got to say, watching Florida's Democratic political machine versus the Republican political machine, it feels outgunned, not always through any fault of its own, but there are plenty of places where it looks like it can be a liability to run for statewide office in Florida as a Democrat.
Well, I think things are changing. I really do, Joshua. You know, please don't forget that there still are yet almost 200,000 more registered Democrats in the Sunshine State than Republicans, and a lot of fair-minded independents in our state as well. And that's important. We have a new chairman for the Florida Democratic Party, Manny Diaz, former mayor of Miami, Cuban-American. I think he'll carry a great message for our party across the board for the Senate race, the governor's race, and other statewide races that are up next year. So I'm optimistic. I really think we have an opportunity if we hit the ground early, if we work hard, if we have a great field program, people knock on doors, make the calls, do the kinds of things that are essential to get out the vote. and then have some wonderful Democrats that come in once we have our nominees and campaign with us. Hopefully President Obama, President Biden. It would be wonderful to have them. You know, Vice President Harris, obviously, would be a huge asset to have. I think we have a really good opportunity. And do not forget, Governor DeSantis won his election as governor by only 0.4% of the vote. Less than about 30,000 votes. Amazing, really.
What do you think is your winningest issue as a candidate? Clearly, the tone of Florida gubernatorial politics has shifted a lot since you were the governor, since Jeb Bush was the governor. Having covered you both, I can say that you two were very easy to talk to as a member of the press, downright friendly, much more so than Rick Scott or Ron DeSantis were, which is a whole other conversation. But Republican politics in Florida have a few very strong issues, not the least of which being economics, low state income taxes, being friendly to business. That feels kind of like the core of Republican political thought in Florida. What's the core of Democratic political?
If I get elected governor, even as a Democrat, there will not be a state income tax. It's in our Constitution.
Right. But I guess what I'm asking is for you, if the argument comes down to this is the picture of Florida under a Republican governor that Ron DeSantis will put up, what's the picture of Florida under a Democratic governor that you think would win even Republicans over?
Well, look, let's start with Medicaid expansion, for example. You know, that means that about 800,000 people in the Sunshine State aren't getting health care every single day because Governor DeSantis does not support it. I don't think that's a partisan issue at all. I think that's a humane issue. And I think that's something rather that people can support across the aisle because it helps kids get, you know, the kind of health care they deserve. Another issue, a woman's right to choose. The governor does not support it. I do. I think it's fundamentally important to respect others, you know, respect men, respect women, gay, straight, white, black, have equity, do what's fair. And it's fair to let women make their own decisions about their own bodies. The governor is against it. I'm for it. You know, there's other things, you know, you can look at, you know, how people get to vote. I mean, when I was governor of Florida as a Republican, I extended the voting hours in the McCain-Obama race in 2008. Because the lines were so long. You probably recall that, Joshua. And what is Governor DeSantis doing? He's closing down democracy. He's making it harder to cast your ballot. That is anti-democracy. It is stunning to me. On each and every one of these issues, I think the Democrats have the advantage. All we have to do is communicate effectively, make sure that the party structure works harder, has a better field program, and that we speak from the heart, that we are genuine about what we're talking about. And if anybody wants to help, they can go to charliechrist.com because this is something we cannot do alone, but it can be done. I have faith. And I believe we need a Florida for all, right? Not just some.
Congressman Charlie Crist, appreciate you making time, sir. Thanks very much.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. You should know that you can follow today's top stories and breaking news and catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.